A Clint Capela trade could be incoming for the New York Knicks after Mitchell Robinson's injury, and Leon Rose is going to have a decision to make with the New York Knicks center position, as this story has really taken over with the Mitchell Robinson injury, and the Knicks now are apparently interested in veteran center Clint Capela, someone who used to be a rival of the team, now could be joining the Knicks in a trade. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Knicks Digest. It's Chris here. We're going to jump right into the video because the New York Knicks have been linked to Clint Capela through none other than the man himself, Ian Begley, who mentioned that the Knicks have had continued conversations about a Clint Capela trade. Now, we reported on this not too long ago, but there has been more news on the Clint Capela front, as after Mitchell Robinson went down with the injury, Begley reiterated that the New York Knicks are interested in acquiring Clint Capela, a player who is very similar to Mitchell Robinson, not as good, but a very similar player. Now, also, guys, very quickly, not an ad, don't worry, I do just want to mention, I am also on Jets Digest, where my roommate Matt and I, or my former college roommate Matt and I, talk about the New York Jets. All of these are going to be duo videos. We're really just messing around, having fun. We both know the Jets very well. It's similar to what we're doing here, kind of like mine and Dariel's duo videos, but it's a lot more joke, fun, riffing, heavy, as Matt and I have known each other for the last 6 years. And also, if you're a Yankees fan, I am also on Yankees Digest a lot of the time. So, guys, make sure you subscribe to those. But let's talk some basketball. Sorry, I had to do basically my own version of an ad. But let's talk basketball, guys. Clint Capela, he's a trade target for the Knicks. This is not a new trade target. This is someone who's been mentioned before, but now that Mitchell Robinson is injured, Ian Begley has felt the importance to reiterate this. Begley is the most tapped in of all the New York Knicks beat writers. He has the most outlets. He knows more than basically anyone else about the inside of the Knicks franchise who doesn't work for MSG or is actually within the New York Knicks organization. This being said, it does not mean the Knicks are certainly going to trade for Clint Capela, but if there's conversations that have happened, it means that they are happening or they have happened multiple times in the past, because if something gets out about the New York Knicks, one, it probably did happen. It just probably didn't go anywhere, and then the Knicks decided if this gets leaked by now, it's fine. It's something we don't have to be concerned about, because looking at the Knicks, nothing really comes out unless it's either going to happen or was just this brief moment in time. I mean, there was McHale noise here and there, but nothing that was so concrete. And then all of a sudden, boom, McHale's on the Knicks. There was OG news months before the Knicks traded for him. It went away, and then boom, OG's on the Knicks. This is not the first time all this has happened. I mean, dating back to Jalen Brunson signing with the team, there was noise throughout the season that the Knicks were interested in Brunson. Then all of a sudden, the second free agency was beginning. Jalen Brunson signed that deal with the Knicks. All of this leads back to if Clint Capela news is back in the rumor mill, it means the Knicks probably have talked. They've probably talked to the Hawks about Clint Capela very recently, because Begley also mentioned this is not a surprise that the New York Knicks are missing Mitchell Robinson till December, till January. Is it to the fans? Yes, but the New York Knicks definitely knew about it. It's why they allowed this to be released to the public, is they knew that eventually fans would find out. Might as well come out now. The story was probably getting out there anyway, and Leon and co decided there's no point in still hiding this. It's not a very well-kept secret. I mean, we have been talking about on Knicks Digest for a while that Mitch is not going to be healthy by the start of the season. Yes, it's longer than we expected that he's out, but it is so the Knicks can be more careful with his injury. Now, as I mentioned, the Knicks have known that Mitchell Robinson was going to be out till December or January for a bit of time now. Is it clear how much? No. But what it is clear about is that the Knicks have known that they were going to be without Mitchell Robinson basically throughout the entire offseason. That's what this means. If it's coming out now, they at least knew Mitch was not going to be healthy by training camp and by the beginning of the regular season, and have probably known for a good stretch of time now that Mitch is not going to be healthy by the regular season. And though Begley did mention the Knicks are pretty confident in who they have now between Precious Achiuwa and Jericho Simpson, Julius Randle, once he comes back from his injury, did a video on that. That'll be coming out pretty soon after this one. So it's important to know that there is some Julius stuff going on, but in the long run, he will be healthy for the majority of the next season, barring some other injury, not due to his shoulder. So it's something to really think about, that the Knicks are confident in Precious. They're confident in Julius when he's back. They're confident enough in Jericho Sims, even though everything points to they're not confident at all in Jericho Sims. They do think Marcus Morris can play some center at some points. The team is confident in what they have now. They also have Ariel Hukporti on a two-way deal. I'm going to do a full breakdown on that, considering he's going to get some major minutes into the preseason, all of that in training camp. The Knicks are going to be ready to use Hukporti early and often if they have to use the man. Now, as I also said, this is not the first time they've been interested in Clint Capela. 2 months back, Ian Begley released that Clint Capela was one big man that the Knicks checked in on, and Begley didn't know how far the talks went, and he didn't know if they were active 2 months ago at the time when he reported this, but at this very moment, he did know that they checked in on Clint Capela. Now, 2 months later, the Knicks have now released to the public that Mitchell Robinson is not going to be fully healthy, meaning the Knicks probably knew Mitch was not going to be healthy by the start of the season back then. That was obviously post-Hartenstein. The Knicks realized we're going to lose Hartenstein, we're going to have to go out there and get a center who can be insurance for Mitchell Robinson, who's someone who plays exactly like Mitchell Robinson, except worse, Clint Capela. It makes sense. The Knicks like to do that. Tom Thibodeau likes his players to mirror, or especially his centers, to mirror each other. He wants a guy who's going to be protecting the rim first and foremost, and then being a rim runner, being a good rebounder, especially on the offensive glass, and hold it down on defense. Clint Capela does that. Does he do it as well as Mitchell Robinson? No, but he does that. He's a veteran. He's been on 2 winning teams, not championship, but 2 teams that have been to the conference finals. He's been to the Western Conference Finals with the Houston Rockets. He's been to the Eastern Conference Finals with the Atlanta Hawks, where the Hawks ended up beating the Knicks on the way there in the first round. Shout out to Derrick Rose, who just got waived today by the Memphis Grizzlies, who willed the Knicks to a win in Game 2. One of the great moments as a Knicks fan myself. Now, oh, man, one of the great moments was a singular playoff win. My childhood was not full of great Knicks teams, but shout out Carmelo Anthony. He did the best he could with terrible rosters, and Phil Jackson, to this day, who traded Melo, still haunting my dreams with Mitchell Robinson being injury-prone. But it's okay. Mitch is obviously a great player when he's healthy, but the problem is he's not fully healthy. Not often. The man is injury prone. There's no way to dance around it. I don't like saying it. I don't like hating on Mitch. I don't want this to come out as hate. I'm a massive fan of Mitch's game. I think he is such an important part to this team. I think he's one of the most underrated centers in basketball today. But there's a lot of problems with this Clint Capela idea because it sounds really good. It sounds really nice. But there is a severe issue with it. Now, before we get into that issue, just to quickly show you guys his stats, Capela put up a double-double last season on averages with 11.5 points per game and 10.5 rebounds. So how in the world could this guy actually be worse than Mitchell Robinson? Well, it's simple. He shoots the ball a little bit more than Mitch. Defensive box plus minus was negative. You're not going to find that with Mitchell Robinson. He got 1.5 block shots per game. That's the same that Mitch got, except people try Capela way more often than they're going to try Mitch. 30 years old, so still in the prime of his career. Positive value over replacement player. So he is someone who, though the defense is not as good as it once was or is now, at the end of the day, he still is a quite effective player. Here is the problem, and it has nothing to do with Clint Capela and everything to do with the money that Clint Capela is getting paid. These are the 4 players who we have seen possibly be able to be dangled for a specific player that the Knicks want. Precious Achiuwa, Deuce McBride, Keita Bates-Diop, and Jericho Sims. Now, let me be very clear, because some people are going to come at me. I do not want the Knicks to trade Deuce McBride. I don't. I'm saying the Knicks have considered trading him. It's a difference. I had to zoom in for that one. But yeah, what I was saying with Capela, you put all 4 of these guys together in a trade for Clint. Not only do I not want to do that trade for obvious reasons, considering it's a way too big of an overpay, the problem is, looking at this, the Knicks are still taking in $6.2 million too much, which makes the trade fail. It is not a legal trade. The Knicks cannot take in that money. They have to get rid of $6.2 more million, and every contract that you could use to do it is a valuable player who's in the rotation. I mean, you even have to add a rotational player to get this deal done in Deuce. You have to add another one in Precious. You have to add another one for the first half of the season in Jericho Sims. It's a lot, and then also some forward depth in Keita. It's way too much to trade for Clint Capela unless you're getting like a first-round pick, probably protected in return for that. And even so, it still doesn't work. You need to get $6.2 million in. So how do the Knicks get Clint Capela? That is a very simple answer. They don't. Okay, that's not fully true. the whole reason that they can get Clint Capela, I should say, is I just said the whole reason twice and then acted like I said something different. But the real reason why they could trade for Clint Capela or, well, acquire Clint Capela, I'm sorry, it's really late when I'm filming. This is coming out right after. I'm exhausted. But basically the deal is if Capela gets traded somewhere else to a team that doesn't want him, let's say the Nets want to trade Dorian Finney-Smith, and the Hawks are like, hey, we want to move forward with Okonkwo as our starting center, Onyeka Okonkwo, they drafted a few years ago. Let's acquire DFS, important winner. We want to win while we still have Trae Young here because the market for Trae Young is not good enough for us to trade him. Let's go out there, acquire DFS, and give Clint Capela to the Brooklyn Nets. Now, the Nets have Nick Claxton. They have Noah Clowney. They have Day'Ron Sharpe. They obviously don't want Capela, which would mean they'd probably be giving some sort of draft compensation to the Brooklyn Nets to make that trade done. Well, the Nets don't want Capela. What do? They buy him out of his contract. Now, this is not just the Nets. This is literally any team that doesn't want Clint Capela. I could use a handful of teams. I just thought of the Nets because, I don't know, they're in New York. It makes sense. Whatever. They buy out Capela. Capela signs a minimum deal with the team. What team could he sign with? The New York Knicks. Boom. That is how you get him. You trade Capela to a team if you're the Hawks that does not want him, and then the New York Knicks go out there and get him in the buyout market. Now, obviously, the Hawks are not going to do that to do any favors to the Knicks. They're just going to trade Clint Capela if they find a way to trade Clint Capela because they kind of have wanted to trade him for a good amount of time now because he's not as good as the stats show, or some would say. That is why that could happen. At the end of the day, I hope that exact scenario does happen. Not that it's the Nets. I don't care what team it is if Capela will sign with the Knicks on the buyout market when Mitch is healthy. And then, boom, you got two great centers. You have great insurance for Mitchell Robinson. If the Knicks want to make a move sooner than that, they can make a move in December when Precious Achiuwa is tradable. And y'all know where I'm going with this. Trade for Nick Richards. Get that one done. Boom, problem solved. You're not paying Clint Capela. You don't have to worry about the fact that Capela's 30 and you're going to have to find another backup because someone else is probably going to pay him in the offseason. You get Nick Richards for a few years under contract. And it's a good deal. So let me know what you guys think down below. Like this video, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Have a great day, and go Knicks. Subscribe to Jets Digest, guys, and Yankees.